The Seattle Mariners are currently in on two of the veteran free agents left on the free agent market here in December, including Michael Brantley and AJ Pollock. Both of these rumors came out yesterday, and one of them is a little bit more credible than the other. Let's take a look. In Jim Bowden's top 25 free agent list that is left on the market, he has Michael Brantley on here, who is being looked at by the Astros, Blue Jays, Guardians, and Mariners. He did not play after June 26, underwent season-ending surgery on his right shoulder in August. Bowden goes on to say that these teams are lining up for his services because of his elite hitting ability, but also his leadership and impact on young, developing players. This sounds like a Carlos Santana role for me. Then there was this tweet by Scott Gearman. It said, hearing AJ Pollock has offers from the Dodgers and Seattle. Strangely enough, however, Scott deleted this tweet, which is super strange to me, meaning that either A, maybe Pollock is signing somewhere, or B, maybe this just wasn't true. Shout out to Soto Mojo, who still had a picture of this tweet. Let's look at both players and see what they could bring to the Seattle Mariners. I want to start with AJ Pollock here because I think he's the least likely of the two. AJ Pollock is an outfielder. He's played center field. He's really not that great of an outfielder anymore, and he's 35 years old. In 2022, Pollock played in 138 games for the Chicago White Sox. He hit 245, 292, 389 with a 91 OPS plus. He did hit 14 home runs and 56 RBI, and this is actually an interesting year for him because you can look at it one of two ways. You can say, okay, AJ Pollock is finally starting to regress at the age of 34, 35, as his previous years were way better than they were this year. You can see his OPS plus being well above 100 the last 2 years prior to 2022, and overall he's been a 113 OPS plus player over his career. If I'm being honest with you, I would assume that AJ Pollock probably wants to go somewhere where he's going to be a starter. And if I'm the Mariners, I'm not giving AJ Pollock that starter role right away. However, it's what AJ Pollock does versus lefties that make the Mariners want him so badly. You could platoon him with Jarred Kelenic in left field, which is the rumor of what they would want, and Pollock hit 286 in 2022 with 11 of his 14 home runs coming against lefties. Pushing that back to 2021, however, you can see he hit 301 versus righties and 288 versus lefties. If Pollock could regain that form, then yeah, Pollock would be an everyday player. We have this tweet here from Camden_51 on Twitter. He said, AJ Pollock versus left-handed pitching since 2021, 271 plate appearances, 288, 339, 568 with a 907 OPS. He has 72 hits, 34 extra base hits, 18 home runs, 42 RBI, 17 walks, and 48 Ks. Sign me up, says Camden. In 2022, you could see that his K percentage versus lefties was 15.3%, while versus righties it was 20.8. Pollock strikes out at a decent clip, but nothing exuberant like we see with someone like Eugenio Suarez or Teoscar Hernandez. Pollock has been a serviceable player throughout his career, but I honestly think that I would prefer Michael Brantley. The hard part is Brantley is coming off of that shoulder surgery, but there are just a couple things that make me really want Michael Brantley to be with the Mariners. Like I said, he seems like a guy that could maybe fill out that Carlos Santana role. He's also from Bellevue, apparently. I did not know that he was from Bellevue, Washington, but lo and behold, he is. He's also 35, going on 36 years old. I mean, with a nickname like Dr. Smooth, who can go wrong? In 2022, before he got injured, he hit 288, 370, 416 with a 125 OPS plus. He hit 5 home runs with 26 RBI. And Brantley has definitely been the better player throughout his career. And looking at these numbers, Brantley is really good, especially in the walk to strikeout ratio. He is somebody that really knows how to control the zone, nearly walking more than he's struck out almost every year of his career. He's never struck out more than 100 times, and in fact, the most he's ever struck out in one season was 76 times. He has a 117 career OPS plus, and you can see every single year since 2017, he has been over 100. He's also been an all-star 4 times in those years. Obviously, Brantley has played with Houston since 2019. He won the World Series with them in 2022, and as you can see, he's been hurt a couple of different times. The nice part about Brantley is you probably don't really have to platoon him all that much. Throughout his career, he's hit 270 versus lefties, 310 versus righties. In 2022, those numbers were 295 versus lefties and 285 versus righties. Brantley has never been a huge power guy, except for, of course, the juice ball year with 22 home runs, the highest point of his career, but he has a really good on-base percentage at 356 throughout his career. Brantley is no gold glove candidate, but honestly, the Mariners could try and sign both of these players, putting Brantley at DH and having someone like AJ Pollock to platoon out there with Jarred Kelenic. In 2022, Michael Brantley played 29 games in the outfield and only 35 at DH. He did play a lot of those games in left field, of course, so that's good for the Mariners. In 2021, he played 84 in left field and played 31 at DH. But with the DH role open for the Mariners, they could continue to rotate guys through with AJ Pollock, Michael Brantley, Jarred Kelenic, so on and so forth. This might be a good way for the Mariners to go. Honestly, if they wanted to sign both these players, they probably could. The problem here is outbidding the guys that you're going up against. Obviously, Michael Brantley has played for the Houston Astros the last 4 years. If they really like him, they might try and bring him back. AJ Pollock played with the Dodgers, so it's tough to say where these players might land. MLB Trade Rumors has Michael Brantley on a 1-year deal for $15 million. That is their prediction, and for the Mariners, that honestly might end up being just more than they would be willing to pay. With that being said, MLB Trade Rumors also has Michael Conforto on a 1-year $15 million deal, again, someone else from Washington. If the Mariners wanted to look a little bit younger, they could go with Michael Conforto, maybe see if they can re-tap into some of his potential. Otherwise, Brantley is a proven hitter and probably a little bit better force in their lineup. Honestly, I'm not sure if either player would prefer to be signing multi-year deals, and I'm not sure if the Mariners would be willing to give either of them multi-year deals, because it's tough to say where they'll be at next year, of course, and who knows if these guys are even going to continue playing, because, 35 is kind of old in baseball. Again, I think I would rather go Michael Brantley. If you wanted to push it to 2 for $25 million total, I think I would maybe do that deal. 2 years, $25 million total, making it give or take like $12.5 million a year for Michael Brantley. I'm down for that. AJ Pollock, I think I'd probably only offer him maybe like $8 or $9 million a year at the most. These guys would definitely impact the Mariners lineup, but not nearly as much as this guy. And we have a video on that on the screen now. I appreciate you guys watching this one, and go Mariners.